will be charged at the beginning of this match.
We can see Chris Wellham just at the bottom of the picture there. He's been recalled from a loan spell at Gateshead. The message that Craig Sandicott got out to him, Steve-O, was your performances aren't good enough. Go take a break there and come back with an improved attitude, and he said he has.
And a little bit more steadiness as well. They understand that, you know, they've got the experience with Wellham, but you've got to keep an eye out for the fullback, Greg Eden. He's the type of player that can actually win this game on his own. I think it's going to be an even battle up front in the forwards, and I think that the quality of the fullback Eden will just tip the scales Hull Kingston Rovers way.
OK, Hull Kingston Rovers for you, Steve-O, by how much?
I reckon run about 10 to 16.
Phil Clark?
Hull Kingston Rovers by 25 or 30. I think it'll be that big in the end.
Really, you're convinced it'll be that solid a performance for them?
I do. I think Hull Kingston Rovers will do a good performance, and Travis Burns is a great player. If he clicks tonight,
Well, that means we'll get a drop goal somewhere
here
down
he
the line.
goes. OK, we got an exciting 40 minutes coming up ahead of us now. Time now to go to your commentary team. They're led tonight by Bill Arthur.
Thank you, Brian. As Hull Kingston Rovers take the field here, it's a sun-kissed Odsal, but that's about the only cheery thing for Bradford Bulls supporters after another tumultuous week, which has left Matt Diskin in charge of the side, as we've already heard, and just delivering the last few words to his beleaguered team. And Bradford's ever-present 19-season Super League record effectively goes on the line here tonight, because if they are to claw back that difference on 12th place Wakefield with 11 rounds to play, they really need to start here tonight. A competition they've won 4 times in the history: 1997, 2001, 2003 and 2005 has come to this. It is quite extraordinary when you look around these empty terraces and the sparse pre-match entertainment. When you think what this ground used to be like in the Bulls' heyday, they were one of the founding fathers, really, of the whole Super League ethos in summer rugby. This place used to be crammed with vintage cars, fire breathers, and all sorts of goings on. And now you've got one man, and fair play to Danny Tetley, did a good job before the game, but one man with a microphone singing a few songs and a few dances, and that is it. That's what it's come to for the Bradford Bulls off the pitch. And on the pitch, it's come to near demise from Super League. And so it's down to this side here tonight, led out by Matt Diskin, to try and turn the tide in time to save their skins in Super League. It is a tall order, but they're up against the Hull Kingston Rovers side, who have not fared well at this ground. Rovers have won just once in 10 visits to Odsal. Their only win here was in August 2011 by 34 points to 8. By the sound of things, Phil Clark anticipating it'll be a similar sort of scoreline here tonight, and judging by the first 13 minutes of the game against Salford last week, it might well be, because the Bulls let in 4 tries in the first 13 minutes against the Red Devils and never recovered. They're going to have to start better than that, Steve-O.
You're right there, Bill, and I think that pride will certainly be the thing that the coach, or the, shall we say, caretaker coach, Matt Diskin, will want from the players. They've got to get their defence, they've got to make sure that they get it right into their faces. Of course, Craig Sandicott, the Rovers coach, he realises they can't just say to themselves they're in disarray. Bradford, they've just sacked their 2 coaches, and we should take advantage. They've got to work hard as well.
Well, Rovers have got their own problems, and they are looking to avoid a 3rd consecutive loss here tonight. They had a good run of form, early summer, late spring, won 4 in a row, but they've certainly gone off the boil in recent weeks. Injuries have played a big part in that, but they've still got a fair starting 13 out there, and not a bad bench either.
It's probably the best that they've put out for about 3 or 4 weeks, Bill, and mainly due to the fact they realise deep down that if they don't win here tonight, they can say that the playoff football is beyond their reach.
The pre-match entertainment included a fair rendition of Journey's Don't Stop Believing, and that's the message to the Bradford Bulls supporters here tonight. But their form in recent weeks and some of the goings-on have stretched belief for those Bradford fans, those long-suffering Bradford fans who've really been put through the mill, not just this season but in recent seasons. But it's down to these players on the pitch now, and here's Gaskell. Gaskell finds Matty Blythe with that pass. And Blythe gets the ball away to Elliot Keir, who's been really reliable. One of two ever presents in this Bradford side, Elliot Keir.
It's got to be a good kick. They've got to make it into the corner.
Well,
apply the pressure. Messing around at the play of the ball.
Elliot Keir was looking quite incredulously at referee Robert Hicks on that one, and Greg Eden has got in a tangle with that. And can he get out of trouble? He's done well.
There was a foot in touch.
He put a foot in touch. I thought he had.
There was definitely a foot in the dead ball area. And coming into this game, I was grabbed by a couple of fans who said, "Do you know what? We're sick of turning up to Odsal and the game's done and dusted. We'll have a look at it here." Where's the footwork? Any time now. There you go. Yeah. There you go. Well, and they said, "We're sick of turning up and the game's done and dusted in 10 or 15 minutes. They need to start better. They need to be in the driving seat and make it a competition for the full 80 minutes. And they're getting that so far. Only 2 minutes on the clock, I know.
It was a great kick, though, by Luke Gale. It looked as though it was perhaps a little bit too far. He really should have taken it, Greg Eden, but as you can see, the lengthening shadows out there, so it was a good high kick. The sun would have been in Greg Eden's face.
Eden back from a loan spell at the Salford Red Devils, gets back into the side because of the injury to Ben Cockayne, one of those injuries mentioned. And Ben Cockayne had been having a great season at full-back as well. They're certainly missing his input. Now here's Danny Addy, and Gaskell and Luke George is waiting on his wing, but the ball comes back in field.
Well, Craig Sandercock realises that they are under pressure at the moment. He'll be hoping that their defence holds out. Interesting to see there that Matt Diskin wants to control. It normally does, but maybe in and around the play the ball area is where the gaps might be. It's pretty good defence. You see Craig Hall moving in there, making sure they can't get the offload.
Gaskell heavily involved early on here as Gale kicks on the last tackle across field towards Adi Gardner's wing. He and George go up for it. They both miss it. Or do they?
Well, there's another great kick there from Luke Gale. No one got a fingertip to that.
Do you think the difference, Mike, between teams at the top of the league and those at the bottom is that the winger gets his hands under it, gets to catch that? You know, we've seen the people like Ryan Hall, the world's best winger, as he's sometimes dubbed around this part of Yorkshire, catches that ball. I'm not saying he gets over the line and scores every time, but there's a fine line, isn't it, between success and failure in all levels of sport. And sometimes converting your chances early in the game was probably what Bradford are going to have to do if they want to win tonight.
Good start from Bradford, though. They've kept Hull Kingston Rovers deep in their own territory for the first few minutes of this game. As Josh Hodgson plays the ball, and Rovers first.
That looked forward there. Got away with that. I agree with you, Bill, mainly due to the fact we said it was so important. Matt Diskin, he would have said to the players, we've got to make sure our defence is solid. We've got to apply that pressure to the Rovers and keep it going for 80 minutes.
As Chris Wellham with a little kick ahead, played for Gateshead last week with the rest of the Thunder side in a loss against York. Just the one appearance for Wellham, and now he's recalled to the side. Liam Salter getting a rest from action this evening. Craig Sandercock saying that he really has put a lot of emphasis on defence, Salter, for Rovers this season, and a lot has been asked of him, and he deserved a breather. So Wellham gets his place back.
And talking about the return of Chris Wellham, I think it's a smart move by Craig Sandercock, mainly due to the fact that it brings a lot of experience to the side. Both these teams, throughout the last 4 or 5 weeks, there's been so much panic, not much organisation. And it'd be interesting to see how Bradford, if they can just take it steady, don't try to force the pass, make sure the kicking game is good. It has been so far from Luke Gale. Keep it going.
Addy will hoist the kick again into the sun. Adi Gardner comes for it, Eden comes for it, and it's going to drop in no man's land, and Eden will get it at the second attempt.
Offside, I feel, yeah. It was interesting. It just shows you that the nervous situation on both these sides, that they allow this ball to bounce. You just can't take that risk in this sport.
So the Bulls penalty, or concede the penalty, and Rovers through the boot of Chris Keating pushed down into Bradford territory. Craig Hall up to the Bulls' 40-metre line. First real attempt to examine this sometimes flimsy Bradford defence has been this season.
Keep your eye out for Josh Hodgson there, the dummy half. Is a hooker. He'll control things. That's great defence. So good work by Matty Blythe.
Hall plays the ball. Keating. Ooh, that looked forward to Wayman.
Well, that's about the third that I've seen from the Rovers. Got away with all three.
Did a 360 there. Burns will kick crossfield despite the pressure, looking for Gardner. Gardner claims, pops the ball over the top to Wellham, and Wellham is in the corner. Now then, is that a good finish from Chris Wellham? Did he run out of room? Did he touch the whitewash? Has Wellham marked his return to the side with this try?
Well, it was a great fend. The centre, you can see the side of the upper body.
Well, the tries come from a kick, so the first thing they'll have to do is check that everybody's onside. You know, from my first view, it was very, very tight on the outside backs going through. Will they be onside? And then it'll be to the grounding if they are. Certainly get there first. Ball's laid back from Gardner. So they must be satisfied with that. We'll go to the grounding.
Oh, no way.
Foot's in touch there. I'm surprised the touch judge hasn't seen that first off. He's in a very good position, and it's pretty clear there. Perhaps the mitigation is that he can't see when the ball's down.
But Chris Wellham going close, and the first real threat from either side in this game.
Yeah, good work by the winger, Eddie Gardner, as well. He made sure that he got possession, then the offload. He did ever so well, didn't he? But 2 against 1, it normally brings up NOTRY, and that's what it was.
So Bradford deep in their own half then, having escaped that scare.
It'll be interesting to see, Bill, whether Bradford will kick early in the tackle count and not wait until the final one.
I think they need to get some practice in running hard with the ball and making ground. One of the biggest problems they had last week is they couldn't advance when they had possession near to their own try line. We've just seen there on that play, they passed it and eventually tackled about where the ball was played. Making ground with the ball is important in this sport, and they need some players in the middle to advance the possession.
Gale on the last, and Gaskell it is who gets the kick away in the end. Eden safely pouches that one.
Well, a message from Matt Diskin is out there as the coach and the captain, of course, is to make sure that the kick is not directly straight to Greg Eden. They've got to find it into the corners. They've got to be a little bit spare with their thinking and just make sure you settle down. Don't just kick for kicking's sake. Put it into a corner.
Well, Steve, I've been watching the tactics of both teams. What Hull KR are doing is they're keeping it tight, making sure that the big fellas are getting over the advantage line, which means Bradford can't afford to be loose around that play of the ball. They look like they've turned up with the right attitude and wanting to work in that particular department. And again, what they can't do is allow Keating and Burns to dictate. There's an obstruction called by the referee. Travis Burns, Greg Sandercock. Let's have a look at it.
Michael Wayman coming through there. Just takes him straight out the line.
Well, he's a liar because he said that he run into me. He needs to go to confession at weekend. But what I was going to say, that Bradford are very tight. They're keeping the ball tight. They're making sure there's no risky offloads. If they don't need to pass, they're not looking to do so.
Win a penalty there, the Bradford Bulls, or earn a penalty, I should say.
Yeah, lack of discipline has also been one of the problems that Craig Sandercock has tried to overcome. He's the fiery players, Josh Hodgson.
This is it for me, you know, Mike. This is a chance for Bradford to give themselves a lifeline here. They were disappointing last week. The supporters have come with some enthusiasm. They're trying their best here to lift the home side, but I think they need some points on the board to restore a little bit of confidence.
Diskin directing operations. Gale, key man, back in field. And Diskin there once more. Oh, and that cannons off the back of Donaldson, I think it was.
Yeah, he thought it was going to be the dummy runner. Just a bit of confusion. Not much talking out there. They looked a high shot as well. The swinging arm, got away with it.
Zaddy now. Gaskell's kick, and well, that just nothing kick really.
But it's not a bad part of the pitch to be taking risks and having a look at what's available. The kick and the execution of the kick is not the best, but it's the right part of the area. If you make the mistakes near your line, you're putting pressure on your defence.
Well, so many years you can see in the corner flags because of the speedway track on the outside, the corners turn up. You don't want a lob kick over the top. You want a grubber kick to make it stop inside. Not the best from Gaskell.
Is Mick Wayman taking the ball up for Hull Kingston Rovers, managed to appeal against a 2-game ban.
Bill, just look at that.
Suspension.
And in 4 straight runs from the tap on the 20-metre line, they've gained over 40 metres. Bradford somehow need to restrict that. They're struggling, aren't they, to contain Hull Kingston Rovers' ability to advance the ball.
Keating doing just that for Hull Kingston Rovers. Hodgson. Hall with a little kick ahead. Oh, and Gaskell wrong-footed. He's relieved to see that one dribble over the whitewash and restart with a tap on the 20. Could have been a lot more embarrassing for Lee Gaskell there.
Yeah, it took an awful bounce for it, but he covered it well. And this has been the biggest problem as far as the Bulls are concerned, is that, yes, they gain possession deep in their own red zone, but they can't get to anywhere near to the halfway line.
11.5 minutes gone, still 0-0 here at Odsal. Bradford Bulls against Hull Kingston Rovers. Rovers looking to stay alive as far as the playoff places goes. Bradford just looking to stay alive, really, in Super League. Big hit there by Wayman.
It's quite hard to read who's going to run with the ball and who's going to pass it at the minute. Nobody pushing up in support with the attacker. Here we go.
Well, Gaskell is on. Couldn't find Gale with the pass. Gale maybe had overrun it.
Yeah, you're right, Bill. The opportunity was on. Gaskell went through the half gap. You could see he was folding the arm round, and I'm afraid Gale just a fraction in front. Tried to grab it at the last minute. Good work by the full-back.
He's done his best. He's tried to extend his arm, make it as long as he could in an attempt for that pass and that offload not to be forward. Another chance gone begging.
And a strong start to this game, Lee Gaskell, for the Bradford Bulls, who are defending now. There's Josh Hodgson, part of the England training squad in Loughborough this week, with Steve McNamara back for a session. That ball's bobbled out, and it's a penalty. There was a Bradford hand in there. Adrian Purtell looks disgusted at referee Robert Hicks at that decision.
Well, there certainly was a hand somewhere underneath, and also it wouldn't allow him to get up and play the ball quickly. They're not going to take the opportunity of 2 points. Yeah, came away. Maybe he just lost control of that, did Horn.
Well, here's Travis Burns now. And Rovers in a good position, bang in front of those posts. Costigan it was playing the ball. Keating, Craig Hall, lanky centre, in and out of the team this season.
Dropped that.
Craig Hall.
He lost it. I'm with you, Baz. I thought he lost that ball then. Not seen by the official.
Play continues. Rovers really close to that try line. Keating pops the pass to Burns. Burns then tries to shift it on to Wellham. The ball comes unstuck, and maybe justice is done there.
Yeah, Dan Addy came out. He thought he'd gone for the intercept, but Addy definitely knocked it down, that's for sure.
He's a bit convulsed then. That's fine.
Oh dear me, and Craig Hall gave himself up there.
Yep.
But he did see it, Steve, and I heard Robert Hicks say the hand never left the ball. Is that correct, Stuart?
That's what he called at the time, that's how he saw it, and that's why play went on.
You haven't answered the question there.
Don't the rules say you can drop or place the ball anyway? So the rules allow you to drop the ball, Barry, and roll it back with your foot.
And the question will be, if he keeps his hand on the ball, then that's not a knock-on.
Burns through the line. Is he over the line?
Yes, it's scored. Don't worry about that. He's plunked it down as Travis Burns.
Travis Burns gets only his 3rd try of the season. Quick thinking there from Hull Kingston Rovers, number 6, Travis Burns. And the pressure pays off for this Hull KR side.
Well, it's a bit dubious, but you can see that Robert Hicks was in a very, very good position. I've seen him given, and I've also seen him just play on. But throwing the dummy there, that wasn't the best there by Danny Addy. He took a real dummy here. Watch it.
I think in his peripheral vision, Travis Burns has seen Adam Sidlaw, 6'6", 18 stone, and he thinks, if I can step on my right foot, if I've got him travelling crossfield and I come back against the grain, then I've half a chance. And he certainly converted that chance.
The farmer's son from Texas, that's Texas in Queensland, with this conversion attempt. As folks have been over watching him in action in the last few weeks, haven't seen Rovers in the best of form, but they've seen Travis come up with the points, the try and his conversion, giving Hull Kingston Rovers a 6-0 lead.
Yeah, good knock by the skipper, Travis Burns. Beautiful little dummy, wasn't it? Had them both, had the wherewithal to make sure he just popped it up.
How do you think I feel?
We just got the feeling that it was coming. Bradford defence, they were struggling slightly.
Travis Burns had been on a good scoring run, 15 games he'd gone, and that came to an end last weekend against the Warrington Wolves when Kingston Rovers were well and truly beaten by Tony Smith's informed team. So they're trying to get back in the saddle here tonight, and here's Mick Wayman.
But Bill, they've got to stay positive, the Bradford Bulls. They can't afford to think negative. They can't afford to let the house of cards all fall. And there's a bit of psychology in rugby league, in sport in general. If I tell you not to think about pink elephants, you're going to think about pink elephants. So what the Bradford Bulls can't do, they can't think about mistakes, missed tackles or drop balls. They can keep the focus, make sure that they take advantage, concentrate, and then when the ball presents itself, still don't think about pink elephants.
Well, not the best from Costigan. He really took his eyes off the situation. He thought it was just going to be a run through. Didn't expect the pass, but I'm afraid you've got to be, at this level, you've got to be alert and aware at all times.
TNG's World Cup captain Neville Costigan.
Heads in.
One of the Rovers' big close season signings he was.
Before it was in. I know, calm down.
Luke Gale just explaining to referee Robert Hicks. Oh dear, where did that come from?
Well, I saw one, Costigan certainly got one in, then he got another one late on. I think the rest is just handbags.
I think the coach threw one in as well from the back of the ruck.
Well, he's hardly going to drop himself for a lack of discipline, is it?
Neville Costigan took exception to something, and he's pointing to his foot, I think.
Well, I think he's trying to indicate that there may have been a kick.
Well, there's one thrown there by Costigan. There's an uppercut. And you're right, the Bradford players in solidarity sticking up for one another, but for me, Costigan, there's a bit of the dark arts there. He's thrown an uppercut, probably trying to get under the skin of the Bradford pack.
Well, I think it was more get inside the skin.
Costigan lashed out. Yeah. And then Diskin came.
This should be a penalty to Bradford, surely. I mean, he was the instigator.
I'm going to speak to both. Penalty to Bradford. Okay, Neville, come here.
Robert Hicks has taken the information from his officials, and he's called Neville Costigan out.
You threw the first one. You threw. It was open-handed. It's a penalty against you for that. So that you can go away. Calm yourself down. Come on, Matt.
And calm down is the advice to a very experienced player.
Penalise him for that. Just leave it with me. The penalty shows. Keep it calm. On report.
And you saw the crafty indication from the Bradford skipper, Matt Diskin. Where's the yellow?
Well, I wonder where that came from, Steve-O. Neville Costigan's not the type to throw one for nothing.
He just stamped on his foot, that's what he's done. I think somebody said that early on. That's what started it off.
I think it was James Donaldson who did the offending stamp.
And looked that way, Bill, didn't it?
Anyway, the penalty gives great opportunity. Now Luke George trying to go on the outside of Adi Gardner, gets the pass away well to Adrian Purtell. And Purtell is tackled about 11 metres out for the Bradford Bulls. And the Bulls' fire is up after that incident. Addy. Ball taken in, bang in front of those posts now. Diskin. Here is Luke Gale, skips past the first line of defence. 4 tackles gone. Diskin finds himself a bit of room. Now Addy kicks cross field. It's high, and Luke George is underneath it, and Gardner fumbles it over the dead ball line.
Beautiful kick into the corner. On this occasion, Luke George had plenty of time to get higher than his opposite. Gardner was on his way down, but he was looking to get a second attempt.
Did Luke George knock that ball on, Stuart?
Looking at that, it looks like he gets a hand to it, but it's one of those awkward ones that Ødegaard his hands right underneath it at the same time and knocks it back. Live, that will be difficult.
Well, the decision stands. Goal line dropout. Craig Hall thumps it down the field. Danny Addy is there. Sidlow now.
Bradford have got to utilise a little bit more dummy running in as well, because they're not fooling this Rovers defence at all.
It's a good period of pressure for Bradford, though. They've been in the whole KR half. They've been asking some questions, and you're right, the support isn't quite good enough, but there we go.
Here's a chance. Elliot Keir for the corner. Lovely step from the Welsh international, and Elliot Keir gets the Bulls' first points on the board, but referee Robert Hicks not satisfied.
The obstruction possibly on the patch.
Well, it's obstruction.
Well, it's that thing again, obstruction, isn't it? Let's see what these people say.
Well, I don't think there's a thing wrong with this. There is a collision, a coming together, but it's the defender going to the runner this time. I think he's on the inside shoulder where he is, and he goes to him. He catches it on the outside. It's committed the defender. He's making the tackle, and I think this will go through. The ball's caught on the outside, no problem there. The defender's committed himself to the attacker. I think that's play on.
Well, we've seen the touchdown. Elliot Keir looking for another try. He scored tries in the last two. It's 3 in a row. So that dust up in the middle of the field ultimately leads to the Bradford Bulls getting points on the board, because they've made the most of the possession and the territory.
Yeah, good. Look what it all came about from the penalty that they got here. And there was a little bit of a messing around, and then they put the scrum down yet again. A few punches were thrown, and they got sucked into it. But this was good work as well. On that occasion, we had the dummy runner. Maybe there was an obstruction, but it was turned down by the officials, Ben Thaler and Ian Smith. And Keir gets the Bulls back into this game.
Well, the way that most teams attack now in rugby league, the fullback is essential, isn't it? His decision-making is crucial to the outcome of a game, and Lee Gaskell had to make sure he found the right man with that final pass. And he had the kick.
Luke Gale does add 2 more points to level the scores. His 21st successful, his 13th successful goal of the season, I should say, but Elliot Keir with his 5th try of this Super League campaign.
And it just shows you the importance of bringing in the fullback for that extra little situation where he slides in, just confuses the defence, and then the pass, much to the delight of the captain and the caretaker coach, Matt Diskin.
And Steve, I think the backs will lay the credit to that little bit of a scuffle. And don't get me wrong, I don't want to see all like warfare and brawls all over the pitch, but the Bradford Bulls, and particularly the forwards, they've turned up today and said, you cannot push us around. And I've watched that scrum, and the pushing and the shoving and the standing and the punching. I've watched it a few times now, and Bradford gave as good as they got, but again they drew a line and said, you're not going to get away with it today, fellas.
Well, it's been a pretty impressive opening quarter for the Bulls. You know, there won't be many times this season that they'll have a 99% tackle success rate in a quarter of a game, but they have done so far. Just one miss from 80 tackles. If they maintain that defence, they give themselves a chance.
It's level here then between the Bradford Bulls and Hull Kingston Rovers in a crucial game. That ball has come out in the tackle, and legitimately, and it's going to be Manesi Manakafoa as the culprit for the Bulls.
He's trying to offload that ball belt, and that's the first mistake. They haven't been sloppy. 21 minutes, they've been disciplined, they've stuck to the task. I've no doubt Matt Diskin has said, look, we need to be squeaky clean when we get a chance to get over the 40, over the 60, should I say, and getting what coaches and players understand as good ball. We can have a play with the ball, but let's make sure we respect possession.
Well, I think the officials got that wrong. I thought that Adam Walker definitely had a fingertip in that, but they've got away with it. That's a good run.
It's Reece Lovegrove making good ground for Hull Kingston Rovers. And we'll see the other side of Hull in action on Saturday, 4:55. Catalan Dragons on a real roll at the moment. Hull FC, big win against Widnes last time out. So 2 form sides in action on Sky Sports tomorrow evening. Here is Costigan.
Well, there's little doubt that the loose forward Costigan is fired up, and this for sure.
Adam Walker nearly went without that. That's the 5th tackle, right in front of those posts. It's with Keating now, and Keating, little dink kick over the top, and Craig Hall goes up for it. Reese Lovegrove gets the rebound, can't keep it alive. That'll be the turnover.
Great work from Bradford, great work. Urgency to get in the mix, and it was a good kick. And Elliot Keir has 2 blue shirts in his eye line, and the reaction of the Bradford players, knowing that they're in danger.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad kick from Chris Keating, and I must say, Craig Hall did his damnedest to try to flick it back. But fair credit to the Bulls, they got the numbers there.
Manikathur on his own 10-metre line. And the Bulls with work to do to get out of the danger zone here.
The feeling, Bill, that both these sides are just a little bit nervous about sort of being a bit more expansive in their play, which is not surprising when you see the positions they are on the table.
Elliot Keir looking for a penalty there. Here's Luke Gale, good footwork from Gale. There's a Rovers player down in the back of the action. I think it's Costigan.
Yeah, it is.
Here's Purtell coming across the field.
He didn't get much sympathy off the Bradford players. They were just trying to shift him out of the way. Not got many friends in the Bradford shirts. Neville Costigan.
Purtell plays the ball. Gale gets the kick away, and it's a good one. Behind Greg Eden. And that's eventually going to go dead.
Only just. Yeah, he was very, very fortunate there. This will be a quick tap.
Can't have a quick tap because they've passed the ball from the back. He brings it out all the way himself, he can go, but we've also got Neville Costigan halfway up the field.
Yeah, I think there's more than Costigan as well that, not surprisingly, picked up an injury, slow to get behind the line.
Don't the rules state, Stuart, that if you tap the ball with some of your players in an offside position, then the other team get the ball?
Well, no, because the referee doesn't allow them to take it until they get there. If they do, if he does allow them to take it, he blows his whistle and they take it, he could penalise them. But they always blow it when everybody's back.
Hodgson plays the ball. Here is Chris Keating now. Walker gets the pass away to Greg Eden. Frustrating player, Greg Eden. He's got great footwork, great speed, but he's also erratic, and that's probably why he's led a bit of a nomadic career.
Yeah, he can produce brilliance, and then he can be an absolute failure.
Burns hoists that one. Gaskell is underneath it with time, catches, spins away, but is then caught. Good follow-up tackle by Aaron Ollett on the field, the 21-year-old. Ollett, another player who's benefited from this tie-up Hull KR have with Gateshead Thunder. Stanley Jean, who doubles up as Thunder's coach and one of the assistant coaches for Rovers here tonight. Gale plays the ball. Here is Gaskell, and Gaskell's shown up well for Bradford so far.
Yeah, he's not trying to join in, especially in and around the play the ball area.
Matt Diskin's decided he's earned a rest, so he's taken himself off the field. Good shot. Great follow-up to the kick from Bradford Bulls. Danny Addy leading the way.
Well, that's enthusiasm there. They're indicators of energy and application. Great shot. Not technically the best. You could argue he's hit with the wrong shoulder and he's got his head in the wrong place, but that's what tonight's about for the Bulls.
There is Matt Diskin talking to Brett Carney, who was expected to come back here tonight. I was just talking to him earlier on this evening, and he's still not quite right from that thumb injury. Had a really nasty break to his thumb. Thought he dislocated it and spent about 10 minutes trying to put it back in on the pitch. And the physio came on and said, no, I'm afraid you've broken it rather badly.
Well, it certainly wouldn't have helped, would it, trying to put it back in. Just made the cracks a little bit wider. That's a good kick and chase, though. That's probably the best we've seen from the Rovers.
Keir it was. He's been really solid for them this season. With the Welshman, Elliot Keir. Here's Chev Walker now, once of Hull Kingston Rovers. Remember him breaking his leg horrifically when he was a Rovers player. Sat out the whole of 2010 with that injury. 6 points apiece here, coming up to the half-hour mark. Real battle of attrition between the forwards out there.
Here's a big boy, isn't he, Jamal Fakir? And this is a good position now for the Bulls. This has got to be a high bomb, surely. Remember the sun right in the face of the full-back.
But Gale opts for a chip over the top into the corner, and Eden
couldn't get out of it, could he? Couldn't get away.
And he's grounded that ball. He's got the ball down in the field of play. He's knocked it on.
I don't think he has either. I think the kick is a percentage kick, and Bradford showing composure, but Stuart, I'm not sure about this call.
Well, he certainly grounded the ball in the field of play. It's whether he lost possession as he was pushed over. Well, I think he still has hold of it. He has it gripped in his hand, doesn't he?
I do. It's great work from Bradford. Again, it was a good kick to the corner.
Well, he's hold on to it all the time. I mean,
He's always got hold of that.
That is really... I mean, the touch judge...
Nobody's got hold of it, did you say, Stuart?
I said he's got hold of it.
Yes.
He's got hold of it all the time.
Did the touch judge give the information to the official? Because he...
I've not heard any information going through. That's not to say that he hasn't, but I didn't hear any information going through.
Well, that is a really bad call, and it could be very expensive as far as the Rovers are concerned.
If Bradford score from this, then Greg Eden has every right to feel hard done by. Here's Danny Addy and Chris Wellham up very quickly on the Bradford Bulls standoff. Purtell. And Addy in there. Beg your pardon, it's Adam O'Brien, of course, who's on the field, directing operations now with Diskin off. Here's Chev Walker.
Keep your eye out for Lee Gaskell. He wants to link in wide on this right-hand side.
And that's where they come with Gale now. Gale fires the pass, but good defence from Rovers. Quickly up on Matty Blythe. Gale across the field, and straight up the middle comes Jamal Fakir. And Fakir gets the pass away to Adam O'Brien, and Gale, again, good defence from Rovers. Great work to stop chase hits.
Chris Wellham and Travis Burns, they didn't take the dummy. Oh,
but O'Brien's going for it. O'Brien is over.
Can't get it down. Held up. He'll go upstairs.
When I got there, it was held up. Can you just see?
And that's exactly what Robert Hicks wants to see.
Well, as Robert said, when he got round there, he was held up. So it's what happened before that. Did the ball get on the ground first? The ball's still up in the air at that point. Does he manage to turn around and get over? I think it's Travis Burns that's underneath him.
No,
there's not anything where the ball's on the ground on that.
Does a tremendous job, Travis Burns. Puts his body between the ground and the player.
But he comes up with the ball.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting as to
the play's dead, surely. The play's dead.
Well, the video referee is probably going to rule that the ball was the tackle was complete at that point, and I think it's the last tackle anyway.
Yeah, it'll be the turnover, or should be.
Agreed.
Travis Burns definitely finishes up with it.
It's definitely held up over the line. I think this will be a handover 10 metres out. It's on the last tackle. They're just making sure. It's another angle. It's well to check. It goes very close.
No, he's held it up. That was great work.
I think Hull Kingston Rovers have shown in the last minute there, defending their own try line, a massive improvement from the first half of the season when players like that would have resulted in tries. I'm being presumptuous, but this one's a no try, and that's a brilliant effort to keep out their opponents.
And it will be the turnover. So justice done there, because that stemmed from that mysterious knock-on from Greg Eden.
Well, to be fair, it was a good run by Adam O'Brien. All the Rovers expected the kick on the last. He went on the power play. Went close. Now then, the object now is to make sure they keep the Rovers way down in their own quarter. And also, a little bit of discipline. Don't give away a silly penalty. He's getting a bit excited again, is Adam O'Brien.
Here is Josh Hodgson. That's with Adam Walker. Walker stopped by O'Brien's tackle. That's the 5th. That's a good set from the Bulls to restrict this Hull Kingston Rovers progress, but then Burns puts a deep kick in. It's into the arms of Elliot Keir.
And that's the reward, Bill, for a good defensive effort. The winger catches the ball on the full, gets over the 20-metre line. They look in good shape, the Bradford Bulls.
I'll tell you what, they've started to make it look and feel like a sudden death game again. They've missed just one tackle. It's their best defensive effort for the Bulls so far this season. And the stats so far, you'd expect maybe it to be very close. The Rovers marginally ahead. But I'll tell you what, all of the vibe around this ground at the moment is around that of the Bradford Bulls.
The Bulls fans know how crucial this game is to their side's survival this season. Remember, the bottom 2 lose their places in Super League. And at the moment, it looks like the Bulls and the Broncos. There's a penalty for the Bradford Bulls.
And that's the urgency. There was a one-on-one tackle from Travis Burns on Lee Gaskell. You watch Lee Gaskell. He wants to get up. I want to play the ball, sir. And Travis Burns can't resist it. Pushes him over.
Definite penalty. He can claim all he likes, but he had a second go at him. He did all the hard work and then put his team under unnecessary pressure.
So, Jamil Fakir will see his former club, the Catalan Dragons, in action against Hull FC on Sky tomorrow evening. Drives it in for his latest club, the Bradford Bulls. And here's Danny Addy, and Addy, well, he's used to operating in the second row. He's played at prop. He's a standoff in this Bradford Bulls side at the moment, but he used his prop strength there, and so did Manesi Manakafoa. He's held up. This time Robert Hicks had a good view of that right on the spot.
And the same man, Travis Burns, has prevented the try.
Good call again. Good attack, good defence. Referee's seen it. Let's go back and let's get on with the game.
Boy, he's working overtime, isn't he? Travis Burns, that's for sure, in defence. Remember, it was Burns, neat little dummy, scored the first try.
Here's Addy once more. Gaskell closed down very quickly by Craig Hall and driven back in the tackle.
It was well read by Hall, wasn't it? The defence came through. There you see the skipper and the caretaker coach, Matt Diskin.
He might be talking about those front runners being realistic options. Draw the defenders in.
Addy for Gale. Gale will kick across field. This one not quite to the wing. Reaches Purtell, reaches Gardner. George is there as well. And it's a knock-on, I think. Luke George scrambling for that ball. And will restart on the 20.
I think it's claimed that Purtell...
Yeah, I think that's the one he's got
a fingertip to it. He just got a little swish away, did Aid Gardner. I think Robert Hicks got it spot on.
All positive play from the Bulls at the minute. Continue to ask questions. The more chances they have like that, the more likely they are as a penalty goes against them. Can't get sloppy, the Bulls.
Chev Walker penalised, hand in there as Lovegrove was trying to play the ball, I think, or while he was being tackled, in actual fact.
I think it's Manakafoa that's been penalised, Bill, for the steal on that one.
Yeah, little doubt it was the man with the beard. This is something that they did not want to be pushed back into their own red zone.
Big Tongan international, Manakafoa, who adds a bit of presence to this Bradford Bulls side in terms of physicality. Here's Adam Walker.
They're in good position now, the Rovers, and this is where Josh Hodgson needs to do a little bit more running. That's better.
Here he goes.
Pressure.
That's what he's doing. And Hodgson comes up with the try, his 8th of the season. And the Rovers supporters, not that vast in number here tonight, but they've seen Josh Hodgson do exactly what the guru of hookers suggested.
Well, it all came about, didn't it? Manakafoa giving away the penalty, stealing the ball into the good position. And this is why he's clever. He's a good thinker. He works hard, but he's got plenty of brain cells, and that is a fine try.
He was a try scorer in Hull Kingston Rovers' only Super League win on this ground in 2011 when they won 34-8. And he's got his side's 2nd try of this game It's taken some getting as well, because they're up against a stubborn Bradford Bulls side, but the Bulls will be kicking themselves then, because defensively they've been strong in this first half, but they allowed Hodgson too much room to move there. And Travis Burns, ever present in all 17 games for Hull KR this season, despite one or two bangs and bruises. With the conversion attempts, puts Rovers back in front by 12 points to 6.
A lot of initiative involved in this play, a lot of initiative. Craig Hall takes the tap quick. The next player on the ball is Adam Walker. He drives it in, plays it quick. And Josh Hodgson, with his speed of thought and speed of action, just shows it to the outside players. And that's a great try to go into half-time, you would imagine, in the positive.
And just a word of apology for whatever you heard on the referee's mic just then. I do tend to pick that up in the heat of the battle, and apologies for that. But Gaskell will restart for the Bradford Bulls. They will be frustrated with that, because they really had defensively been, well, obviously a lot better than last week when they conceded 4 tries in the first 13 minutes.
And he was disappointed as well, Will Diskin, mainly due to the fact that, you know, they had good territory, had been in good position, and it looked as though they were just stopping anything that the Rovers were throwing at them. But as I say, it's amazing. A lack of confidence, a lot of control, give away the penalty, 30-40 metres downfield, and you leave yourself exposed.
And here he goes again, Hodgson, and they are exposed now. He's got some support. He's got Keating as well on the pass. Well, the pass to Keating really wasn't on. And Keating was instantly, well, he didn't even have time to take the pass, did he?
Well, he's on fire, isn't he? Josh Hodgson.
But what about the reaction, Steve? Or the Bradford defenders, they get themselves in the way. They make a support runner. They make it an impossible pass.
Elliot Keir did well here, though. You know, he was way out on the whitewash on this right-hand wing, and he puts himself in a position and makes sure that Keating couldn't take that ball. But another great effort from the hooker, Hodgson.
Worrying for the Bulls, though, the way that Hodgson was able to just go through hole in the middle of the field there.
Well, that's the second occasion in the last couple of minutes, Bill, where, you know, the Rovers have taken example of it. Very, very slow marking, first and second markers. That's why Bradford were caught out on 2 occasions.
It's Alderson playing the ball for the Bradford Bulls, who trailed 12-6 here, coming up towards the end of the first 40 minutes. Back here and on now to Gaskell, and then Gaskell to Adrian Purtell.
They've done that play often, haven't they, where they've passed it out wide. Oh, it's the interception, Wellham's away!
Wellham is away. They're going to try and chase him. George is trying to catch him. They won't. And Chris Wellham capitalises on a stray pass. Jay Pitts on his knees on the dead ball line in despair. And Bradford shifting the ball to the left. And Wellham reading the pass and snapped it up, and Craig Sandercock, that's what he wanted just before the half-time break.
Well, Christmas came early, didn't it? Trying to offload the ball, and it really wasn't on in a situation like that. They weren't aware that Purtell was going to swing and offload it. Well, Craig Sandercock will be very pleased indeed in the fact that he's brought back Chris Wellham back into the fold. It could not be taken by Lee Gaskell. This guy could. And Wellham, oh, puts the Rovers further ahead.
He's had 1 try ruled out this evening already, having got a foot on the whitewash. But he's marked his return to the side after exile in Gateshead with a try. Matt Diskin, a shake of the head from the acting coach, player as well. And Travis Burns, last action of this first 40 minutes to maintain his 100% goal-kicking record, which he has done. The hooter has sounded. A word from Stanley Jean in the ear of Travis Burns. And Josh Hodgson has a word with his forwards as well before they leave the field. Matt Diskin and his team have ground to make up now. Real tight contest for most of the first half, but so the Bulls have let it slip away, and at the break, Hull Kingston Rovers are leading by 18 points to 6.
Yes, Hull Kingston Rovers have won just one away game in Super League this season. That against the Warrington Wolves are on course to make it 2. Bradford Bulls have put up a good display. They're trailing at half-time with it all to do. Matt Diskin reinforcing to his side that they're still in this game, still with a chance of 2 Super League points.
Has he got downward pressure?
I think so.
The Holy City, right around Easter, they hold an Easter pageant.
It's America's longest-running passion play.
88 years.
And it's found its brand new Jesus. There's just one problem.
I'm a Buddhist now.
True stories, real drama. Jesus Town, USA, Wednesday at 9 on Sky Atlantic HD, or catch the season so far on demand.
At Machine Mart, you can buy power washers, generators, welders, air compressors, cooling fans, water pumps, cement mixers, jump starters, engine cranes, trolley jacks, table saws, storage racks, workwear, power tools, tool chests, hand tools. Machine Mart have a huge range of tools and machinery on display in their 64 superstores nationwide. Or visit our website with thousands more specialist products in Machine Mart Extra. The free Machine Mart catalogue has hundreds of price cuts and new products. Get yours in store, online or call.
Don't snooze and lose. 50% off sofas in the DFS June price snap is ending. Like the Pier sofa, just $399. Get the Tone double recliner sofa, just $499. Which, like all these sofas, is handmade to order. The Blanche Corner sofa is just $799. And to make you even more comfortable, there's also 4 years interest-free credit. Final days to save in the DFS June price snap, making every day more comfortable.
Wow, Mum, you're amazing. Probably the best mum in the whole wide world. Maybe you should celebrate by going on holiday because you deserve it.
Now kids are complimentary because kids go free when you book a trip on selected sailings to Ireland, Britain or France this year with Stanaline, the Irish Sea's leading ferry company. Book by June 30th at stanaline.co.uk.
The Fault in Our Stars.
Best film ever. Very emotional.
I fell in love with him the way you fall asleep, slowly and then all at once.
Just come and see it.
The Fault in Our Stars.
Get on your bike with £50 off all Pendleton adult bikes. Visit Halfords in-store or online.
Can you feel that? That's Double Delight Hat-Trick Heaven. Bet on the first goal scorer, and if he scores first, you win. If he gets another, we'll double your odds. And if he gets a hat-trick, we'll treble them. If you love football, you'll love a bit of Betfred. Sign up now for no deposit, £10 free bet, exclusively on your mobile.
It's what you wanted from a loan provider. MyMate.co.uk.
MyMate, the one you wanted.
Know what your loan will cost with our MyMate calculator. Borrow from 2 months to 1 year. Apply for a loan that you can afford. Get the financial help you need with a MyMate loan tailored to suit you.
Who wanted orangutans?
That was me. Apply now at mymate.co.uk.
Sky Sports 5, your new home of European football, launches August 12th.
Looks like a job for the old magic sponge. He's
quality. Little wonder that the supporters are in heaven.
What a brilliant try this is going to be.
Sensational score!
This is absolutely out of the top drawer.
Absolutely unmissable. A Super League blockbuster next Friday night. Wigan St Helens, 7:30 p.m. on Sky Sports 1. We're at Oddsall. You'll see Hull Kingston Rovers the night before that Wigan Saints game. Tonight they're in action against the Bradford Bulls. 18-6 at half-time. Rovers had conceded 88 points in the last 2 games. They will be delighted, I'm sure. Matt Diskin, temporary coach, interim coach for the Bradford Bulls. He's had a good first half himself, as have his team. Hull Kingston Rovers, well, Sandercock, I'm sure, will be delighted, especially with the way they've finished that game. And they started that game well as well. John, we can get straight into that as well. Travis Burns, 14 minutes into the game, first on the scoreboard. It was important that Bradford hit back, and they did through Elliot Keir.
Yeah, I think so. As we've seen by the end of the half, back-to-back tries. It could hurt Bradford with the confidence they've got at the moment. Let's have a look at this then. Mason Manakafoa, quick play the ball. That's the key. He gets down, he gets up, and the key man he stopped is Neville Costigan. He's late back, and he's the one who's going to make up the numbers and even them up late on. And that's significant because of the time period. He gets back in his line now. The play is already underway. That gives these guys no chance at all to get up. They cannot get up outside Neville Costigan. That really puts them on the back foot. Have a look now at Lee Gaskell. Chooses a peach of a pass.
Yeah, beautiful ball.
It's a great pass. Now, he's not a natural fullback, is Lee Gaskell, but I think he's played particularly in that first half, and Elliot Keir improving the angle. So it was very important, as you say, for them to hit back and become 6 or make a fight of this.
I said at the top there, Rovers have conceded 88 points in the last 2 games. They've worked on the defence this year. They've worked on the defence this week. And they had to keep Bradford out.
Yeah, 2 pieces of Hull KR smarts here, really. They got penalised. They got on the wrong end for one of them, and this is the Greg Eden play. I think he's done particularly well here. I think Bill Arthur summed it up perfectly in commentary. He's got some real skill, but he's very erratic. I think this is a great play. He realises he's on his way back into his in goal, grounds the ball. That's perfectly legitimate, and the play should start from there. No knock on that we can see, but Hull KR did get some redemption on the last tackle. Travis Burns, 8 or 9 tackles in that first half. This was his 5th tackle in the game, and it was a significant one. Does really well to hold O'Brien up from the base of the ruck.
The first of 2 try savers he came up with. 6 minutes to go before half-time, you would say 6-all. It's looking very good for the Bradford Bulls. If they can go in tied, you think they've got a real good chance in the second half. Wasn't to be. Josh Hodgson hit them with a sucker punch.
Yeah, very even first half. I think it took them both 10 minutes to get into the swing of things in that first 40 minutes. Let's have a look at Hodgson's try then, because the mistakes start to become obvious from a very early point. Manakafoa goes long side. Let's stop it to play the ball, because I think Matty Blythe's too close to the marker here. First man at marker, gives himself very little chance to get out and challenge Josh Hodgson. Also, take a look at the space in between these players here. That goal line defence, you'd be worried to death if you were Tom Albison here. Third and final thing is have a look at Luke Gale. Now, that's going to affect Albison, because in his peripheral vision, he sees the man outside him in front of him. But look at Hodgson. Look at the ability he's got off the back of this to take that and get through the gap. Albison already on the slide, and then of course when Wellham scored with a couple of minutes left, that put a completely different complexion on how this second half's going to play.
Yeah, 18-6 after that Chris Wellham try. Well, we got 40 minutes. Indeed, the Bradford Bulls and Matt Diskin have 40 minutes to rescue their season. They've been in Super League for 19 consecutive seasons. This might be the season they jump out, unless they can start the comeback, and that would begin with a win tonight against Hull Kingston Rovers.
It's okay. Oh, he's not in touch.
First try in the series for England. The winning habit is refusing to go away. Ashton's going to score. Defiance from England at the end.
New Zealand v England, the 3rd test. Tomorrow from 8 a.m, only on Sky Sports. Coverage sponsored by Amlin Insurance.
Right now at Sainsbury's, the Sif Bath and Shower Spray costs only £1.50. That's less than Tesco.
After the role of a lifetime, I've been busy. Xbox on. So, I look forward to my downtime. Xbox, go to Titanfall. This is insane. Check this out. Xbox Snap TV that does two things at once, so I can play games while I watch my favorite shows at the same time. Whoa, Xbox, record that. I just wish I had more time to play. Yo!
Xbox One, now starting at $349.99.
Are you ready for England's World Cup game against Costa Rica this Tuesday? BetBright will give you £100 if England beat Costa Rica 3-0. Just free text BET to 67555 to get your free bet. That's right, a massive £100 if England beat Costa Rica 3-0. So free text BET to 67555 or visit betbright.com/TV for your chance to win £100. BetBright, live the moment.
New limited edition Magnum with Marc de Champagne to celebrate 25 years of pleasure. Happy birthday, pleasure seekers.
You can never prepare too much, but it's the little things that make the difference. My head's got to be sorted. Because we all know what it will probably come down to. I need to be ready for anything. Ready to make it count.
Touchdown every morning, 10 times, not just now and then. Once more on the rise, nuts to the flabby guys. Go, you chicken fat, go away. Go, you chicken fat, go. Running to run like a tortoise. Okay. You're too far and too slow. Now double up, ready. Everybody sing! Go, you chicken fat, go! Dismissed!
Hello. Oh, hi, hon. I'm travelling, yes. I'm going into a tunnel.
Buy 2 cans and get a football shirt from Umbro.
Sky Sports 5, your new home of European football, launches August 12th.
Isuzu D-Max.
Join us tomorrow, 4:55 p.m. for a 5 o'clock kick-off. It's the Catalan Dragons against Hull FC. Sky Sports won 7th against 9th. Here at Oddsall, the visitors, Hull Kingston Rovers, chasing just their 2nd ever win here at Oddsall, leading at half-time, 18 points to 6. The Bradford Bulls, to stay in Super League, need to reverse that and win this game tonight. Time now to go to your commentary team of Barry McDermott, Phil Clark, Steve-O, and led by Bill Arthur.
Thanks, Brian. Hull Kingston Rovers have just one away win to their name this season. It was an impressive one, has to be said, at Warrington Wolves. And they would grab this one because it would keep alive their hopes of involvement in the end of season playoffs. Got a bit of ground to make up, but of course Bradford Bulls are a desperate side as well, and they have some ground to make up here tonight because a sloppy end to that first half has cost them dearly. They're trailing 18-6 now. Nip and tuck for most of that first 40 minutes, and then they made those errors which Hull Kingston Rovers capitalised on. Well, it goes without saying that the Bulls need to score very, very early in this second stanza. It really was a killer blow, wasn't it? Why on earth Adrian Patel was wanting to offload just a few minutes before the half-time break is anyone's guess. They paid the price. Here's Jordan Baldwinson for the Bradford Bulls, a Leeds player on loan at the moment. Had a brief spell with the New Zealand Warriors. It's going to be a bit longer, didn't quite work out as Addy puts the kick away, but it's straight into the arms of Eden, and Eden is able to collect that one at pace. Well, he's such a talent, isn't he, Greg Eden? He did quite a lot of linking through into the three-quarter line in that first half. And what an impressive return for this fella, dummy half, Chris Wellham.
You'd have imagined that Craig Sandercock, the Rovers coach, would have impressed on his side the need to start the game fast. Here, there's going that big sweep play out to the left-hand side. Craig Hall through the gap.
Hall is through, and Hall is going to get the first points in the second half in the corner. No doubt in my mind, surely the official will give it, and it does. No need for the video ref on that one. And Bradford, they conceded at the end of the first half. They've conceded at the start of the second half. And Craig Hall, in and out of the team this year, back in the team tonight, and gets his third try of this Super League campaign. Tremendous stuff. See how the dummy runner made sure he went through the gap and not at the man. And this is just sheer speed. It's great to watch a player who really is so confident enough to get into top gear. Absolutely superb.
Well, 3 tries in 7 minutes for Hull KR. And it's the Robins halfbacks, the ability of the halfbacks, Keating and Burns, to take the ball to the line, committing defenders, which creates the space and overlap for players like Craig Hall to get in the corner.
Making only his third appearance of the season at centre, Craig Hall. And putting it to good effect there. And Travis Burns looking to extend his 100% kicking performance. But this is probably, well, it definitely is the trickiest kick he's faced all evening. Close to the whitewash. But favours his angle as he drifts it towards the post, but it's across the face of the posts. Burns misses with that, but Hall gets the first points of the ball, of the second half on the board. 22-6 Rovers lead. Let's go down to the sidelines and hear from Graham Beecroft.
Yeah, well, the half-time news from the Bradford dressing room has rather gone up in smoke, hasn't it? They wanted to stick to the game plan that they started with. They felt they had a very strong start, had good possession at the start of the match. They want to try and keep their structures, know what they need to do, they say, just execute it. Well, now is the time to execute it for sure. Hull Kingston Rovers, same again was the message, quite simple. Enjoy the battle we're having up front and keep going. That's the message for Hull Kingston Rovers. That's how they've started the second half, Bill.
I think the most pleasing thing for Craig Sandercock, the Hull Kingston Rovers coach you just saw in your picture a moment ago, is the fact that Craig Hall's defence today has been as good as his attack. In the first half, on a couple of occasions, he ran up quickly, closed down the Bradford attack when they were close to on try line. We've seen what he can do with the ball in his hands. Well, he's certainly stopped at a couple of important tries tonight.
And Rovers really looking forward to ram home their superiority. Here is Hall again. Chev Walker with the tackle. Alderson as well. Sorry, Bella, when you look at the ability of both Burns and Keating in the kicking department, that's all they need to do. They've got a handy lead, 22-6. Just keep turning this the Bradford Bulls side around. Oh, he wasn't squared at the mark there. Looking to get away with it. Aaron Ollett all bandaged up. We'll see Hull Kingston Rovers in action again. Tough prospect that is. Huddersfield Giants, the way they're playing. Thursday, 7:30, Sky Sports 1. And then on Friday, what a game this promises to be. Wigan against St Helens, Sky Sports 1. Next Friday, 7:30, Bradford Bulls get the penalty. Hull penalised, Hull Kingston Rovers penalised. Yeah, you're right, Bill. They can see that it was Josh Hodgson. Just couldn't resist it, could it? You're right about the fact that it'll be tough against Huddersfield Giants next week. But if they continue here tonight with a convincing win, it'll certainly lift their spirits, which have been pretty low of late. Well, they've only got 6 wins and 2 draws from 16 games, and actually only have 6 more points than the Bradford Bulls, Hull Kingston Rovers. But they're on course for another couple here tonight. They've conceded, though, another penalty. Bradford back-to-back penalties. Wayman taking his time to release the egg.
And that's tackle technique, it looks like, from the Robins. That they're getting their arms around the ball and then trying to put the player to the ground whilst hold of the ball. Always a little bit vulnerable using that technique. It only takes a Bradford player to leave go of it, and it forces the hand of the ref.
Jordan Baldwinson plays the ball about 15 metres out, bang in front of those posts. Bradford need to come back with something now. Tom Alderson desperately trying to wrestle himself free so he can release the ball. He can't. He plays the ball. O'Brien, here is Gale now. Gale, Baldwinson. Here it is with Luke George. George has got some work to do. Cuts back in field, but 3 blue shirts there to make the tackle. 2 in the end, complete the job. He's lost possession, and he gets the penalty for another offence. That's 3 in a row. And Travis Burns, always keen to have a conversation.
And Bill, I just want to explain that. What Hull KR are trying to do, and I know there's a strip from Horn there. They're trying to hold the ball so that Hull KR can't, oh sorry, Bradford Bulls can't then offload it.
Clap of the hands from O'Brien. Great opportunity this for Bradford to try and reverse the trend. But that's good defence from Rovers. Great work from Craig Hall and from Rhys Lovegrove there. Gaskell had nowhere to go. Fakir, more direct approach from the French international. Dumped to the ground. And again, good work by Craig Hall. Worked hard in defence. Good opportunity, good dummy run in here. Gaskell, Olbison, again it's George, and George couldn't take the pass. It's gone backwards, says the referee, and Purtell is able to gather it, salvage the situation for the Bradford Bulls, but they have lost territory. It wasn't the best pass to Luke George. It was going high. Had to reach backward for it. Gale positions himself for a cross-field kick towards Hodgson's wing. Elliot Keir goes up for it, bats the ball down. It's still on the last. It's with Gaskell. Gaskell trying to find a way through, cannot do so, and Rovers stop his progress. Well, he tried to go on his own, did the fullback Lee Gaskell, but you could see there that Luke Gale gave him a few words of wisdom. Well, maybe not wisdom, but he was saying that they were setting up for the kick out wide.
Next week against the Huddersfield Giants might be a stronger test for Hull Kingston Rovers, but the defence tonight has looked fantastic. It is a couple of weeks here now since we've seen them on Sky Sports, and you know what, they've done pretty well in so far in this game. Whenever they've been challenged, they've had not only great organisation in defence, but wonderful commitment.
Well, they're coming forward now. Walker pops that ball out, and Hodgson was alert to the situation. It's amazing, isn't it? It did 22 points to 6, and you get the likes of Adam Walker offloading, little flick back. Oh, they're in trouble here. Burns booming pass out to Eddie Gardner. Gardner, though, tackled. Got to be a high kick. Burns gets his kick away despite some pressure, and it's not a bad one either. Elliot Keir underneath it and took it well. Was it ever? Craig Hall all around him, he's still going. Boy, that was Australian rules there. Really jumped for it, just pulled it down, arms in the air. Great stuff.
This is the problem that Bradford have had. Some middlemen to make some metres here. The outside backs are trying their best. But I guess with the players they've lost at the start of the season and throughout it, they don't have the big men who can take the team forward. So the outside backs are trying their best. You can see the difference in the metres made, over 100 more by their opponents. And possession's been pretty even. And just 1 or 2 errors beginning to creep in. You'd expect, with the stats we've had so far at this point in the game, the Hull Kingston Rovers side to be 10 points ahead. But Bradford won't give up just yet.
Addy launches that one into the evening sky. Eden comes for it and gathers comfortably, convincingly. Yeah, good work by Adrian Purtell as well. He could see that he wasn't going to take Greg Eden whilst he was in the air.
Well, Greg Eden, Steve, we all know him. We've watched him do some wonderful stuff with the rugby league ball, and he feeds off confidence. He's done 2 really good things now. I'm waiting for that third one, that third piece of brilliance.
Here is Rhys Lovegrove for the Robins. Good hit by Luke Gale as well. He came out of the line, picked him very well. Chris Keating. Worked hard. The combination with Travis Burns has been outstanding. And Burns, time to pick his spot for the kick, and it's just in behind Elliot Keir, and it sits up, and Keir has to react, and it's picked up by Hodgson. The referee's wiped the tackle count clean. That was poor play. Okay, I know the ball was bouncing around all it, but they didn't look as intense as to get to it as quickly as possible. Wayman's close. Mick Wayman looking for another try. He's had a prolific try-scoring season, 4 already for the big prop. Just short there as he plays the ball. Keating's booming pass finds Aaron Ollett.
Eden try here, Bill, you watch.
Ollett will play the ball. Here is Travis Burns. Burns back on the inside for Eden, and Eden comes up trumps. And Greg Eden comes up with that third piece of magic, but take your hat off to the Rovers constructors who built that try for Craig Sandercock's team. And those Hull Kingston Rovers supporters jubilant now because their side is taking a grip on this game, and Greg Eden has got his 3rd try of this campaign. And who said forwards can't pick how the team will go with the 3 quarters? Baz, you got it absolutely spot on. As I say, it was poor from Bradford when the kick into that corner, and Baz got it right, the fullback Greg Eden. He was asking for number 3, and you got it.
Well, this is skill out of the top draw, and we've seen this a few times over the season. He starts on the outside. We see Asani signalling his support for one of the charities that Hull KR and the players support, but he starts on the inside of Travis Burns, so defenders can't account for him. He pops up, Travis Burns steps back onto the inside, floats the ball into the space. Try for Eden.
And conversion for Travis Burns. All smiles, all gum shield. 28-6. Hull Kingston Rovers lead now. And Greg Eden, the scorer. And for the first time this season, Greg Eden looks as though he's going to be on the winning side at the 15th attempt. He's failed with Rovers 8 times, with Gateshead once, 5 times with Salford. He's had 1 draw, I think. The rest of them have been losses. Tonight, it looks as though Greg Eden is going to be a winner for the first time this season, and he's going to crown it with a nice try there. Yeah, the champagne will be on him, that is for sure. It becomes a habit, doesn't it, when you're losing so many? You'll be in the vicinity then, will you? I may be sniffing around him, yeah. He's such a wonderful player at times, though, isn't he, Greg Eden? He knows when to chime in, and then within the next 4 to 5 minutes, he'll come up with a disastrous error. But that's the type he plays at. He just really tries everything. He's very talented. Well, he's had a pretty solid game here tonight. Here's Adam Walker, and all that bullishness among the crowd has evaporated now as Keating puts a kick in and looking for a 40-20. Hasn't quite got the angle right. Still a great kick. Yeah, you're right. Elliot Keir fields it on his own try line. Well, I'm not so sure about getting the pass. I don't think Lee Gaskell will give him any pats on the back for that. Yeah, kicking game has been good, both by Burns and Keating. Sandercock, the Rovers coach, will be very, very happy with that. But as we've said all along, you know, it's been the forwards. They really have worked as a unit in the defence, and you can see they're still scrambling. They're working hard for each other. And Bradford staring at another defeat now. A long way to go in this game. Still time for them to pull this one out of the fire, but they're struggling to find a way through some very impressive Hull KR defence. But can they do so now with Gaskell, who goes out wide, but Keating and Hodgson help with the tackle. Lovegrove there as well. And Gale hoists the kick, but Gardner is underneath it. And he and Eden just have a look at each other. After you, no, after you. There seemed to be going on there for a moment. Yeah, not the best, really. A great deal of enthusiasm and sort of chat between the two. Wasn't exactly decisive for a while. Yours, mine, and yeah, okay. Well, I got it, so you're going to take it up. Another guy that's impressed me as well has been Craig Hall, both in attack and defence. But this has been a good all-round performance, hasn't it, by the Rovers? Here's Graham Horn.
He does a nice right foot step away. I hope he's okay. He's a little injured just before he gets the defenders, and not the biggest player, but he certainly makes good ground. He's just down at the moment. Lee Gaskell acrobatically gets that ball and gets his team back up towards the 40-metre line. What energy and life and effort have Bradford got left in them here now? The scoreboard's ticked against them.
Graham Horn just having a visit from the physio, seems to be hobbling a little bit. They said he's okay, but I'm not so sure that he's 100%. Trying to run it off. Seems to be moving okay now. Just back in the defensive line as Bradford are in possession. Here's Danny Addy, Jay Pitts now. Pitts in the centre of the field for Bradford Bulls. I've been impressed the way that Craig Sandercock has utilised his subs bench. They're through here. It's Alderson. Alderson has got some support from Gale. Oh, the ball's been pouched by Eden, but Eden has lost it, and Bradford have it back. And they've got another opportunity here, another set of 6. Well, they were almost through with Gale there. Here is Sidlow. Well, it looked for all the world they were going to score. That's going to be a penalty, messing around with the play of the ball. O'Brien will go for it. He is held up.
Well, Greg Eden was doing his best Matt Bowen impression then, just couldn't finally pouch the ball. But Bradford in great position to post points.
Well, Olsen up there, and you can see he thought he'd got it.
Fawn is still struggling. Referees tells them to get on with it. Bradford certainly want to get on with it. They've got more tackles in the bag. They're on the ball, the Robins 10-metre line. So close there. Olbison there with the... It was with the run for Bradford, which was just stopped by Greg Eden. Otherwise, Gale would have been in.
Rovers desperate to make the substitution, but they've got to withstand this onslaught now from Bradford.
Gale is with Jay Pitts now. Pitts on loan from Hull FC at the moment. Struggles to his feet to play the ball. It's on the last. Sidlow, and he stopped just short, and that's a disappointing end to what looked so promising for the Bradford Bulls when Olbison broke through. This was the try that almost was.
Yeah, they made the clean break. You've got to give a lot of credit, though, to Greg Eden. Nearly pouched it.
That would have done him a power of good, given them some hope of launching a fight back. But the try went begging. And Greg Eden involved again, getting more and more involved in this game now. Greg Eden, Keele Carlisle. Good ball back on the inside, and it's Eden once more.
Well, good work by Adam Sidlow. He anticipated the inside pass, pulled it off. Now this is where the Rovers have the advantage. They know they're in a good position. They'll get the kick. Bit of a problem for Burns.
But Keating is able to put a good kick in. Oh, it's brave from Keir again. You cannot fault Elliot Keir's commitment to the cause.
Well, they've tried hard, everybody out there on the Bradford side, but quite frankly, they just haven't had the experience, they haven't had the skill factor, and perhaps they couldn't match the enthusiasm that we've seen from the Rovers tonight.
And Steve, I think Phil's right. They haven't been able to match the muscle and power of the Robins whenever they've felt like it. They've got over that advantage line. They've chewed up those metres, and it's been too difficult for Bradford tonight.
Here's Adrian Purtell making his 49th Bradford Bulls appearance. That's some achievement considering what he went through in 2012 when he had that heart attack that looked as though it had ended his career. But he's come back from that. Ironically, he made his return last March against Hull Kingston Rovers. He's been ever present this season, and the Bulls have the penalty.
Yeah, just messing around after the tackle within your seat.
But look at that, Steve-O. Look what he's doing. He's clamping the ball. He's preventing it from being offloaded.
But I would make the point that's 4 times this half there's been a penalty for that incident, and you know the referee really needs now just to get a grip of it and tell Hull Kingston Rovers no more.
He doesn't appear to have had word with anybody, and it's another opportunity for the Bulls. Donaldson plays the ball. O'Brien now, little step. It's Addy once more. He's very close. O'Brien will try it. He will get there this time. Denied a moment ago, but Adam O'Brien was determined to get there. And off the bench, the 20-year-old from Halifax pitches a try for the Bulls to maybe give them hope of getting back into this game. Matt Diskin on the sidelines, looking calm. But Adam O'Brien with the try for the Bulls.
Lovegrove with the penalty. Allowed the Bulls to get into a good position. It looked like the Rovers defence are going to be solid, and he's worked hard, this kid. Came off the bench, Adam O'Brien, and that's quick thinking. It's not the first time he's tried it. He was held up twice. It was not going to be denied.
And Luke Gale has very quickly lined up this conversion. Another 2 points. And Bradford would still possibly be in the hunt. 12 points to the Bulls, 28 to Hull Kingston Rovers.
Well, I'm sure Matt Diskin is telling people like Adam O'Brien, stick to task. Let's play the game at the right end of the pitch. Hull have been ruthless when they've been down the other end. And Adam O'Brien, from close range, just a metre out, gets Bradford back in this game, not just on the scoreboard, but mentally and emotionally as well.
Lots of school kids here tonight. The Bulls still managing to do some of the things that made them so renowned in Super League, their community engagement. They were one of the first to really tap that vein.
And to be fair, Bill, throughout their problems over the last 18 months, 2 years, they still take time out, the players and the club and the officials, to encourage the youngsters. It's not been easy for everybody concerned.
We've seen Graham Horne struggling. I think he's actually had to bow to the inevitable. He's off the field. Let's check with Graham Beecroft.
An injury to his right ankle. It looks as though it's actually worse than what was an original injury. His right ankle is heavily strapped, and on the instep he's had a bang, and at the moment he's being looked after by the physio. So his boot is off. He's not showing any signs at all that he's likely to come back on the field at the moment, Bill.
Thanks, Graham.
Yeah, you can see quite clearly that the right ankle.
But don't you love that in a rugby player, Steve? He gets up, he plays the ball first. Before he admits defeat, before he admits that he's injured, we see a mistake from Bradford, trying to play a little bit too close to the line.
Well, they've got to throw caution to the wind if they're to close the gap, but instead they've thrown the ball to Hull Kingston Rovers. And here is Craig Hall, one of the Robins try scorers here tonight, wrestling his way towards that Bulls 10-metre line. Adam Walker, brother Johnny, in a spot of bother with the Hull Kingston Rovers hierarchy for off-the-field discretions, apparently. Sid Lowe penalised back-to-back penalties for Hull Kingston Rovers to take advantage of. Jason Netherton.
Come on, Baz, who's going to score now?
Just give me a minute.
Keele Carlisle, and they're in again. And I think it's Adam Walker.
Adam Walker's going to score next.
And Adam Walker, all smiles for Adam, as he quickly snuffs out the Bradford Bulls' hopes of a fight back with only his second try of this Super League campaign. And it was simplicity itself in the end.
Yeah, and to be fair, Adam Walker has worked very, very hard indeed. No doubt about the penalty. Interference, trying to get up and play the ball. A hand was in there. None of them was offside, and he deserves that. I've been impressed with Walker. Ever since he came off the bench, he's put in a good shift and is rewarded with a 4-point.
He was Rovers Young Player of the Year in 2013, Adam Walker, and comes from Bradford, so returning to heap the misery on this Bradford Bulls side. Once played for Victoria Rangers in the Bradford area. Travis Burns. 2 more points for Burns. 6 more points for Hull Kingston Rovers. 34-12 the scoreline.
Well, both Adam and Johnny Walker are carving out a good reputation for themselves. Tough, uncompromising players. Love the physicality of the game, and they'll cart the ball forward just as hard near their own line, doing that tough stuff as they do. And a rare try for the big man.
We've tried something a little different here from the kickoff, but it hasn't come off, and that's probably been the story so often this season for Bradford.
Catalan against Hull FC, Saturday, 4:55, Sky Sports 1. Beautiful weather in Perpignan at the moment, apparently. It was very hot for St Helens out there in the last round of Super League, and Catalan Dragons very hot at the moment as well. So that's going to be an interesting contest.
They're on fire. It's as simple as that. So you're right. Don't miss that one, that's for sure. This has been a tremendous display, though, by the Rovers. I must say, I've been impressed with their all-round performance, and this is good play.
Burns, that's the 5th tackle, though, and Keating very quickly there to put the kick in. Instead, it's Wellham who does the kicking duty. Keating was waiting for it out to his left. It was Chris Wellham who put the kick in, and just goes dead. Well, the speculation is going to start as to who, well, it's already started, who's going to take over the coaching reins here. Matt Diskin saying that he's certainly not interested in the job long term. He's got enough going on. He's a very successful businessman, I think. He's got plenty of irons in the fire outside the world of rugby league. Brian Noble has been spotted here tonight by one of our scouts. Henry Paul was down on the sidelines before kick-off.
Rumours, but maybe, who knows? Well, they were both great servants to this club. Of course, Brian Noble went had quite a lot of success with the Bulls. It's been a bit one-sided for his old club tonight.
Well, I think the challenge for Bradford, if they are relegated, is not to end up like a Leeds United, the equivalent in soccer, really, who did go down and have never managed to bounce back up to the greatest stage and have gone from one crisis to another. But here's a try, I think.
And it's Danny Addy who'll get the try. And the Bulls aren't done yet. Defiance from this Bradford side. And Danny Addy gets his 4th try of this campaign, following up that break and the good offload.
Yeah, for the very first time, the Rovers' defence just got a little bit mixed up. They got 3 into 1, and they really got interfering with each other. Offload was good, and Danny Addy.
But it's close support, Steve. I know it comes from an offload. I spotted it in the first half. You could tell who was passing the ball and who was running the ball. And the next player on wasn't too interested in seeing if there's anything on the back of that. Danny Addy, who's had a good season under duress, picks up 4 points.
Gale succeeds with a conversion. And Bradford keep coming back. 18 points to 34 now, the scoreline. Danny Addy's first try since the Magic weekend.
And the one thing about it is that the Bulls have not, and I mean not, thrown the towel in.
You know, he's done well, Luke Gale, hasn't he? Not only tonight, but this season. It must be very hard to play scrum half for a team that's at the bottom of the league. All the pressure's on you. You're expected to create so much of your attack, and if the rest of the team out firing, all the focus is on you. And there is Henry Paul, sat next to Derek Fox. That would have made a great half-back combination in its day.
Of course, Robbie Hunter-Paul, Henry's brother, the chief exec here at the Bradford club. So Bradford keep responding. They've got some ground to make up. There is Robbie sitting up in the stands.
Well, there's been passages of play, especially in the second stanza, where the Bulls have produced something pretty good. It was a lovely offload, wasn't it, by Adam Sidlow, the prop forward, that allowed Danny Addy to race over the goal line.
Gaskell outside.
Is that a big
Still going Lee Gaskell. Oh, and the pass to Luke Gale wouldn't stick. And Rovers have it back. The Bradford fans claiming that their man was impeded as he went for that ball. Let's have a look. Was Gale tackled by Hodgson before he got the pass?
Well, it was 50-50, very, very close. It could have gone against him. But the crafty hooker, Hodgson, made sure that he didn't get to it. Now this will be just up the jumper time and get the kick away. They've got plenty of tackles in the count. Well, maybe they both went for the ball. The ball was a little bit too high.
On. Here comes Hull Kingston Rovers immediately on the counter with James Green, who plays the ball 10 metres out. Chris Keating spins the pass to Burns. Eden, Wellham now. But Wellham is all wrapped up by the Bulls' defence. Gardner, Burns pass to Aaron Ollett. That's the 5th tackle. And Burns back in position to kick cross-field. Keir is under pressure, gathers that ball well. The Welsh international winger, once a pupil at Whitchurch School, a very, very famous Cardiff high school. Seen some famous sportsmen go through there, including one Gareth Bale.
That was a beautiful kick, though. He's had an outstanding game as Travis Burns has defended well, controlled things. There he is, man going down under the ankles. He really has been an inspiration to this side. That was a shocker. No way in the world.
I don't think Luke George was anticipating that.
No, he had to lean forward to it and just getting a little bit excited. Watson just a little bit of contact with his elbow just to get to know him.
Gardner across the field. Hall now. Hall has got Hodgson outside and won't need him. Second try of the game for Craig Hall. And Bradford, well, they score at one end and then they'll come up with the error at the other, and Hull Kingston Rovers again have taken full advantage of it. And Craig Hall, well, he's enjoying life as a centre. It's his 4th of the campaign. He's doubled his tally here tonight for the season.
Not the best pass, he had to lean forward to it, did Luke George, and from this, the Bulls were always going to be in trouble. Good work from Gardner, pulled him across, you could see how they sucked in Gale, Patel went in, and that's a neat in and out. Half a dummy, it's sufficient. He's had a fine game, fully deserved.
But you know the message for me, Steve-O, when Luke George makes that mistake, instead of killing the ball, instead of going, right, what's next? I've got to make sure that that player, and that Robins player, doesn't do what he wants and do what he likes. I think Luke George handed the ball over, and it's an indication of where mentally the Bulls are at the minute.
Well, we get to see Travis Burns here, where they can convert another one. It's an excellent night with his kicking, but he's missed with that one. And we're entering an interesting stage of the season here now for Hull Kingston Rovers. They're in a 4-team competition, along with the rivals Hull FC, Widnes and Catalan. Only 2 of those 4 sides, in my opinion, will make the top 8. Here we see this final try here, and we'll hope that they finish the game strongly. Next week, obviously, they take on Huddersfield. They'll need to win more games than Widnes and Catalan in the remaining 10 matches, because currently they are below them. But I think they're capable. They've got a decent squad and 2 good halfbacks. And if Travis Burns stays fit and healthy, they'll be a dangerous team to play against. Josh Hodgson's also a very talented and skillful player amongst that squad.
Well, that's 3 key positions then. I mean, Burns and Keating is one of the top halfback partnerships in the competition. Josh Hodgson has got great talent, so they should possibly be doing better than they are.
Well, maybe, that's a bit of effort to put in some shoulder and some tackles. I think they could improve even more, but they've certainly, I think, shown enough here tonight. Having said that, they've let 18 points in, which isn't a great reward, really, for their efforts and what they did in the first half.
Well, Craig Sandercock points to the injuries they've suffered this season, but they could be shipping more points here, and Gaskell should have given the pass to Luke George there, took it himself. It was George was open on the outside.
It was a walk-in. They really should have added another try. It's still on, though.
Little kick, good kick.
Too strong.
Maybe not. Hodgson dealt with it with all his experience there. A sigh from Matt Diskin.
Yeah, it's a funny experience, isn't it, for Matt Diskin to be the caretaker coach, and he'll have to sit down with the videotapes and try to assess where they can improve. So much pressure.
Told you, Steve-O, they're not videotapes anymore. They went years ago.
I can't believe it. A prop forward telling me about technology.
I'll get used to it.
Is Aaron Ollett playing the ball for Hull Kingston Rovers. Could be another youngster getting his chance soon for Hull KR. Sonny Esselmont very close to getting a pick for Rovers here tonight.
Talk about those key positions for the Rovers, Phil. But, you know, when you add it to it, you know, Wellham has added a lot more experience, a little bit of solid defence, and also Craig Hall. He's had a wonderful match.
Well done, Elliot Keir.
He's had a dig, Elliot Keir. He's had a dig. Whenever he's been called upon, he's put the effort in. 6 minutes now, 6 minutes. You go into the changing rooms, the scoreboard's gone, but you've got to show your units, they stick together and come away from this game with something from the last 5 minutes.
But this was billed before kick-off as the game Bradford had to win to stay alive in Super League, and the points are going away from them. So and the feeling here tonight at Odsal, it's one of maybe resignation. It wasn't before the kick-off. There was determination as well, but you get the feeling of a certain inevitability about how their season is going to unfold.
Well, you wonder whether the decisions they make now, Bill, are long-term ones or short-term ones. Obviously, they're trying to avoid relegation. I don't think that's possible now after defeat today. I may be wrong, but whoever they appoint and the decisions, the players they bring in, maybe it might be wiser if they look long-term rather than short-term. Otherwise, they might not really help themselves in the future.
Yeah, it's not going to be an easy road, isn't it, for whoever takes over. and Matt Diskin has made it quite clear he does not want to take his full-time opportunity. He'll be looking for another year. Whether that year will be in Super League, we'll have to wait and see.
Well, Glenn Morrison, once a Bulls player, now Dewsbury coach. Among those mentioned, Jimmy Lowe's, of course.
Yep.
The return of the prodigal hooker. But I haven't seen him around this evening.
It's quite an impressive list of candidates, isn't it? And they all do apply, really. You've got some young coaches starting out the career, some more experienced ones like Brian Noble. So I think the people who do make the decision have got some great people to select from. They're in a pretty strong position if all of those candidates are interested in coming here.
Well, the one that I would be looking at would be Morrison. He's done a fine job at Dewsbury. And I always feel that it's nice to get a young coach, a new coach, just change a few things.
Meanwhile, it's Hull Kingston Rovers who are going to be heading back home to East Yorkshire with the points from only their second away win of this campaign in Super League.
And we all know that Craig Sandicott, the Rovers coach, it makes it quite clear that he's as near to a perfectionist as he can, and he'll be disappointed that they've let 18 points be scored against them. But I think he's got to look at the positivity of it all. Is that they went through a bad period. This will lift the spirits, and certainly. Oh, good George away.
Luke George, oh, great ankle tap, but it was Travis Burns who just managed to get a hand there and stop Luke George's progress. He is the ultimate competitor, to my mind, Travis Burns, throughout a game.
He's been brilliant. Look at that. Never say die attitude. Lunge out, just got the right fingertip to it. That's a neat kick.
And Eden, who really hasn't put a foot wrong here tonight. Well, I don't think he has.
No.
Wellham. Back in the fold, Chris Wellham. With a try here tonight, as that man, Greg Eden. And Hull Kingston Rovers will be very satisfied with this performance. James Green plays the ball. And Craig Hall.
Well, that's his first mistake.
This is a little bit interesting. The last week they played well for the first 30 minutes. The last 10 minutes of the first half, they dropped off. Again, at the end of the game against Warrington, the last 10 minutes of that match, they dropped off. Now, it's either about the concentration or the fitness here, but they need to get better in the final minutes of both halves.
Yeah, you're right, Phil, but you could see quite clearly that Craig Hall took his eyes off the ball, looking at the man coming towards him. He's away, he's Blythe.
Is there a last defiant gesture from this Bradford Bulls side to show that they're not giving up the battle yet? The points might have gone away from them here, but they need to send a message out to whoever might come in to take over the job that there is some spirit left in this side. But Eden is going to go the length of the field.
That was brilliant from Travis Burns.
And Eden is going to get his second of the night. And it'll be under the posts, and that rounds off a very satisfying night for that man, Greg Eden, and for Hull Kingston Rovers. Back in the side, and in the points. No wonder he's all smiles, as are those Rovers supporters who've seen their side pick up only their second win here at Bradford since 1992.
Well, that was brilliant by the standoff, Travis Burns. Watch this. He not only goes back anticipating the kick, but he realises that there's half a chance. And Greg Eden has got all the speed. Nobody is going to stop this guy. But the quick thinking from the skipper, Travis Burns, is nothing short of brilliant.
And you can see what Danny Addy was thinking. Put it behind the line and let Bradford players contest for it. But the quick thinking, speed of thought, speed of action. And Greg Eden, what a wonderful sight in full flow.
Eden, the try scorer, and for the 9th time in 17 Super League rounds this season, the Bulls have conceded 40 points plus. Burns going to add 2 more to that tally. 18 points to Bradford, 44 to Hull Kingston Rovers. And Greg Eden with the last try of the game. Bradford's a solid performance from them to start with, but then Hull Kingston Rovers with their chairman Neil Hudgell deep in conversation with Craig Sandercock on the sidelines there. Well, his side have ran out comfortable winners in the end. That man in your shot there, Greg Eden, getting 2 of those Hull Kingston Rovers tries. Great performance from him. Interestingly, Craig Sandercock just considering a new deal to remain with Hull Kingston Rovers, and of course the chairman will be impressed with this performance. Certainly will, because they've taken the points here on a ground that's never been that favourable to them. Only their second win here, as I said, since 1992. Big performance from some key players in this side. Eden's certainly one of them, but a lot of it down to the work of the man of the match, the Hull Kingston Rovers, number 6, Travis Burns. He's with Graham.
Yes, Travis, many congratulations. You are the man of the match. Big boost for the club. Your second away win of the season.
Yeah, it was massive. You know, we knew the Bradford were going to be a tough game this week with everything that happened with the coach and that. So we just need to concentrate on ourselves and get our season back on track. And it was a good win.
They started quite strongly, actually. You had to. I know you scored very early, but you had to make sure that you weathered that early storm, didn't you?
Yeah, we knew they'd come out strong, and you know, they're a good football side. You know, I feel a bit from with things that are going on in the club, but yeah, we knew we just had to weather that storm, and I knew we'd come over the top, which we did.
A couple of tries each for Eden and for Craig Hall as well. Big boost for them, because Eden especially, everybody talks about as a confidence player.
Yeah, you know, especially when he made a few errors early, he really come back and he scored 2 tries after a pretty ordinary start. It was good for him, and you know, he's a very special player. We need more of it from him.
Well played. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Thank you, Travis. Craig Sandercock joined us. Craig, congratulations, second away win of the season, so a big bonus for you.
Yeah, especially coming here, you know, as a coach of Hull KR, I've won here as well, and you know, to get a result here on Bradford's home turf will take.
Did you speak about the possibility of a bounce back with a new coach with them, and were you aware that you had to start pretty well?
Yeah, history suggests that when a club changes coaches for the next 2 or 3 weeks after that, you know, the team's lifted, and to Bradford's credit, I thought they went well tonight, and they put us under some serious pressure early in the game.
You ran over plenty of tries. You must have been delighted with that. What about your defensive effort? Were you equally pleased?
Yeah, it was much improved. Still a lot of work to do, but I was happy with the commitment and desire online tonight, and in the end, I suppose, that's won us the game.
Next Thursday at Huddersfield, a tough one for you.
Yeah, it's a really tough one. They're a class side, and it'll be a good one. But, you know, we're back at Craven Park, KC Lightstream Stadium, and we'll look forward to it.
Thank you very much indeed for joining us, Craig. Thank
Cheers.
you. Craig Sandercock there. Let's bring in the acting coach for Bradford Bulls, Matt Diskin. Well, Matt, it was a pretty good start by you. In fact, you looked as though you were gaining momentum there, and it just didn't happen. A couple of mistakes.
Yeah, I thought we started the game really well. We're playing some attractive rugby at times. Every time we got ourselves into the game, we killed ourselves with errors that are not acceptable at this level, and we're making them too irregular.
Yes, there were 3 tries, I think, in 7 minutes, and I know you would have wanted to try and get back the momentum that you started with at the start of the second half, but that really blew it apart, didn't it?
It did. Every time we earned ourselves some field position, every time we got in an attacking area, we'd finish it off with an error the next set. You know, we scored a couple of tries and made errors the next set after. You can't afford to do it. No matter who you play at this level, they'll punish you if you play like that.
How would you describe the dressing room and the feeling of the dressing room going into this game?
You know, we were all shocked at the start of the week with obviously the loss of Franny and Lee. But going into the game, we've trained really well the last couple of days, as good as we can do given the circumstances. And the attitude was really positive. I think that reflected in how we started the game. We just didn't have the mental strength really to take that through. And we had silly errors at wrong times, and OKR punished us.
In terms of on the pitch, you need a break one way or another. How's it going to happen, do you think?
By hard work and you know, and being a little bit smarter in what we're doing. You know, the look of the bounce, it's rewarded to those that work hardest for it. At the moment, we're just coming up short in that area.
You've got a tough run of fixtures coming up as well. How important is it, do you think, that a coach is appointed quickly, or is it just a case of making sure the club gets the right man?
I think the club needs the right man. I think where we are as a club, there's a rebuilding process that needs to happen right from the ground up, from scholarship up. So the man that comes up has got to, has got to be able to deliver all that for everybody. So yeah, there is a priority to bring a coach in. We need a coach, but the board's got to make sure they make right decisions. So they've got to wait for the right man if needed.
You've confirmed that you don't want the job here. Have you any idea who it's going to be, Matt?
I've no idea who it's going to be. Whoever comes in will have obviously the full support of everybody there. We're sad to lose the Franny that we had before because of the hard work and the integrity in which he gave to hold us together through the term over the last couple of years. But sport being sport, it's a tough environment. So the next man comes into a squad that will have the full backing.
Matt, thanks for joining us. Thank you.
Yeah, Matt Diskin, captain tonight, coach tonight, and coach of a side defeated in the end, 44 points to 18 by the Bradford Bulls. Well, it was 18-6 at half-time. It was important that Bradford got off to a great start in the second half. They did quite the opposite. Hull Kingston Rovers first to score, and they never looked back. John Wells now can take us through that second half. Over to you, John.
Thanks very much, Brian. Just one clip to show you, and before we get into that, quick mention in dispatches for Greg Eden, the Hull Kingston Rovers fullback. Comfortably his best game this season, despite the opening couple of minutes wobbles under the high ball. Thought he quit himself very, very well, and a huge positive contribution from the back there for the Robins. The key moment in the game, or the key period in the game, was the 7 minutes that wrapped around half-time, from the 35th minute to the 42nd minute. It was Hodgson's try on 35 minutes, Wellham's try just before the break, and then this man, Craig Hall, who for me was the game breaker. He was the difference, and he left Bradford Bulls chasing a 16-point ball game, and you put a side like that on the back foot, it's going to cause you all kinds of problems. They'll just slow it down here, because it's worth having a look at this step on the catch from Craig Hall. He has to check, he's actually and catches it behind him. The step on the catch takes him past Matty Blythe. The acceleration beats Gaskell to the corner, and you can see this from the alternate angle. It perhaps even clearer. I'll slow it down for you again. So Keating finds Wellham with the cut-out ball. Look at the step, lovely. Matty Blythe left for dead, and then Gaskell is outpaced to the corner. He's a cracking player, is Craig Hall. Very underrated. I've rated him for a long time. He's got all the attributes to be what he is, a very, very good player.
Yeah, thanks very much, John. He is a very good player and a very important member of the squad. We can have a look at the Super League table now and what that means for Hull Kingston Rovers. Well, they jump up into 9th, now just a point behind the Widnes Vikings, who face Leeds this weekend. And for the Bradford Bulls, well, we'll touch on what that really means for them. We're going to speak openly and honestly shortly. Yeah, the Bradford Bulls. We went into this game saying it was a chance for them to start the comeback. The greatest of sporting escapes. I'm joined now by Barry McDermott and Terry O'Connor in commentary. Let's get it out in the open. Bradford relegated?
It looks that way, doesn't it? And you know, I thought at the start of the week, and I guess Matt Diskin with his words and with his action and with his body posture, he was shocked, and he mentioned how shocked the players were. I'm not sure that was the right action. I think Franny Cummins, and we've talked about who will come in, but it's important we pay tribute to Franny Cummins, who's given his time over the last few years, and Francis Cummins has been here when he's not been paid. That being said, that decision has been made now, and Matt Diskin had a difficult job to pick those players up tonight.
Do you know, Brian, when you're low on confidence, and we all knew that there was going to be some reaction from the players, and the players were going to come out fighting. You see it all the time in sport when a coach is sacked. But when you're that low on confidence, and then some players go against you, like we saw at the end of the first half when they conceded 2 tries, you could see the heads go. The heads went, and as soon as the heads went, they come out in the second half, they conceded a try in the first set of 6, and then you thought it was game over.
Right, Phil touched on it in the commentary there. Now, the preparation is for the future, you would imagine, of the Bradford Bulls. We've relegated them out of Super League now. Matt, you can talk about mathematics all you want.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the coach, because that's going to be an important appointment. I'm going to go on record at the start and say the best candidate for this job is Francis Cummins, but I can't see him getting the job.
No.
Who do you guys think should get the job?
Well, it needs to be somebody that the fans buy into. So it's somebody with some history. We mentioned a couple of players. Henry Paul was in the crowd, and Brian Noble, the former coach, was in the crowd as well. So it needs somebody to lift the coach, lift the club, and then...
I'll give you some of the names, Barry. James Lowes, Glenn Morrison, Carl Harrison, Paul Medley, Brian Noble. These are names that have been bandied about.
Justin Morgan, Brad Arthur from Australia, and always gets linked. You're obviously going to have... Brian Smith's not got a job. Matthew Elliott's not got a job back in Australia. I think James Laws is the man who, when we played against James Laws, he was probably the ultimate warrior for Bradford. Every time you played here and James Laws played, you come off after having a good hiding. And I think that what they need a very intelligent coach, and I'm sure that you'll agree that he is an intelligent coach. He's passionate about the club. And they're two big ingredients that I think this Bradford
intelligent coach, passionate about the club, everything Francis Cummins was. I want to talk to you about Hull Kingston Rovers. I know I should get over, but I'll talk about Hull Kingston Rovers. Are you convinced now that that is a side, if they can get a couple of players back, that can have a real tilt at getting into the playoffs and then doing something from there?
Well, if it's left to Travis Burns, they have, and I think, you know,
two try-saving tackles.
And Bill spotted it, and Bill's pretty smart at picking things up like that. He's in absolutely everything. Every ball that bounces, every tackle that's made, and very similar to James Laws as a player, actually. But Travis Burns, he's the emotional leader for that group, and if they follow him, they'll go far.
Now we can see how Hull Kingston Rovers continue in their quest for a playoff place there in front of the Sky Sports cameras next week. But we got lots more sport coming up tomorrow. New Zealand, England, 8 a.m. on Sky Sports 1. South Africa, Wales, 1:30 p.m. on Sky Sports 1. Two big rugby union tests. Then we've got cricket, second test, day 2. England, Sri Lanka, 10:30 a.m. on Sky Sports 2. And tomorrow, the Formula 1 Austrian Grand Prix qualifying, midday on Sky Sports Formula 1. Coming up next for you is a World Cup report. Well, if you're English fan, you know, got to tune in, but you mightn't want to. That's coming up next on Sky Sports News and Sky Sports 1. And coming up tomorrow, tune in, Catalan Dragons, Hull FC, 4:55 p.m. You can join Barry, Terry for that one, Sky Sports 1. That's going to be an interesting one to see if Hull FC can go to the south of France, see if they are a resurgent side. All right, well, there you have it. Bradford Bulls, we all believe now, leaving Super League. 19 seasons they've done in Super League. What a glorious club, 4 times champions, but that might be the end for them. My thanks to Barry and Terry. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Watch all 6 Sky Sports channels on your mobile and online.
Last tackle. He's looking for the crossfield kick. And it's worked a treat.
Like a well-oiled machine.
Isuzu D-Max sponsors Sky Sports coverage of the Super League.
Tomorrow, Rugby Union, New Zealand take on England in the 3rd test on Sky Sports 1 at 8 a.m. And South Africa face Wales on Sky Sports 1 at 1:30. Also, Formula 1, the Austrian Grand Prix qualifying on Sky Sports F1 at midday.
This is Sky Sports, your home of sport.
I often use work to avoid my personal life.
I think you're very attractive.
Dr. Sweet.
Yeah, I think I pulled a muscle.
I think you look very pretty in your dress.
Is it me, or did it just get totally awkward in here?
I called you and you never picked up your phone.
You're amazing, you know that?
Yes.
We all know that Bones should be here.
Look no further. Bones, Wednesday at 9 on Sky Living HD. Or catch up on demand.
Don't snooze and lose. 50% off sofas in the DFS June price snap is ending. The Toro sofa is just £449. It's handmade to order and can be in your home within 28 days. And to make you even more comfortable, there's also 4 years interest-free credit. Final days to save in the DFS June price snap, making every day more comfortable.
All right, Keith.
All right.
Thought your party was last week.
Oh, what this? Well, the shop doesn't want it back till tomorrow, so...
Like getting your money's worth? Try the 99p cheeseburger or mayo chicken, part of the Saver menu.
Get on your bike.
with £50 off all Pendleton adult bikes. Visit Halfords in-store or online.
Are you ready for England's World Cup game against Costa Rica this Tuesday? BetBright will give you £100 if England beat Costa Rica 3-0. Just free text BET to 67555 to get your free bet. That's right, a massive £100 if England beat Costa Rica 3-0. So free text BET to 67555 or visit betbright.com/TV for your chance to win £100. BetBright, live the moment.
After 2 days in the desert sun, my skin began to tear red. After 3 days in the desert fun, well, let's too bad I live for a red.
Fall in love with driving again with the new Iris Hybrid. Book your test drive today.
It's a 4th win in Hungary. It's a first win for Mercedes. Hamilton wins the Hungarian Grand Prix. What a way to end the first part of the season.
Samtex, proud sponsors of Sky Sports News at 10. Results you can depend on.
England's worst fears have been realised. They are out of the World Cup after Costa Rica beat Italy. The hope of thousands of England fans in Brazil has turned to despair. They're coming to terms with the nation's worst performance at a World Cup since 1958. But Roy Hodgson's job is safe. FA Chairman Greg Dyke has told Sky Sports News that Hodgson will lead England into Euro 2016. After 2 years of preparations, England's World Cup is over. Just 9 days into the tournament, we will look at where it all went wrong and where England go from here. Well, let's get straight to Rio, the venue for the World Cup final, an occasion England can only dream about now after being eliminated just 6 days into the campaign. Our chief news reporter Brian Swanson is outside the England team hotel, and our chief football reporter Nick Collins is on Copacabana Beach for all the analysis. Let's start with Brian then. Brian, what expectations did the FA have going into this World Cup?
A few frustrated England supporters gathering here outside the team base, hoping to catch a glimpse of one of the England players. But for the Football Association now, more questions than answers. In truth, they came into this competition with relatively low expectations. Who can forget the gesture that FA Chairman Greg Dyke made after this draw was taking place back in Brazil, back